So just more data here. You know, our customer base grew nicely. Reorders, this is important. You get a product out there, and it's one thing to get a product out and have a couple people buy it. It's another thing to get reorders, which is really a sign that what you have is valuable. And indeed, our model is you get a system out, the chip here is a consumable. So unlike an integrated circuit for electronics, I guess you could argue that all integrated circuits for electronics are consumables too. We just consume them over the course of a year. These are consumed every time you run an experiment. And it turns out that we figured out how to manufacture these things better than I had thought. I would not have expected by the end of 2003 that we'd be doing nearly 70 points of margin. These last three slides are not, obviously they're not technology, but as the trap that I think a lot of high-tech entrepreneurs fall into is to be so obsessed with the technology and be so obsessed with the science that you lose focus on the primary business metrics which drive success. And it's an easy thing to do because if you're a technology person like certainly I am, and I'm sure most of you are, you can't help yourself but to think about this stuff and want to get in there in the lab and twiddle and all that kind of stuff. If you don't pay attention to reorders, if you don't pay attention to margins, if you don't pay attention to average units price erosion, a lot of mundane things that are not nearly as cool as the next level of density in valves, you'll stumble, or you won't get there at all. And in my experience with other entrepreneurs, that is definitely a pitfall. You have to get away from being obsessed with the technology and being obsessed with numbers like these, which not nearly as interesting in a lot of respects, but are really the fundamentals about what makes a good business. So we got people like GlaxoSmithKline to adopt our product in a big way. And then, I gotta tell you, this is one of the things that was, it was unexpected, and it was one of the neatest things that's happened to the company in a long time. I got an email from somebody at Scientific American saying, congratulations for this weird thing. And at first I thought it was a hoax, and I actually didn't even read it, I just deleted it, because I get a lot of junk like the rest of you. And then a few days later, I got a phone call saying, why didn't you, this is the editor of Scientific American, why didn't you reply to my email? I'm like, sir, you know, excuse me. And he said, yeah, you've been selected as one of Scientific American's 50 annual companies, people, and policymakers. There were 13 companies in this list of 50. And the thing that I like the most about this is we had been recognized for technology before, not like in Scientific American, but definitely we've been hailed as a technology company and all that kind of stuff. Well, when you start worrying about things like margin and reorders and all that kind of stuff, you get tired of that because what you want to be thought of is a real company. So you want to be recognized for customer satisfaction or, say, manufacturing, which is what we got recognized for here. That was delightful. The second thing that I really liked was they characterized us as a company that built microscopic channels, pumps, and valves that will create the fluidic equivalent of microchips. So that is what we've been saying we would do for, 4 years now. And to have somebody like Scientific American, without our prompting, say it better than I could was really delightful.